had an interview with a bank, and they wanted to know why I'd chosen to go to an interview in the Bank of England wearing a green suit. In fact, it was the only jacket I had. But within 10 seconds, I knew I'd never work in a bank, and they probably knew they'd never employ me. But it was that focused my mind on what could we do on our island, where it was what you did, not what you wore, that mattered.
We started off growing and selling oysters, and then wet fish and game, because there's quite a few shoots on the island. And then we had an aquarium which grew out of the fish.
I carried a saucepan down to the Straits and got it, because if it was going to be a food, it had to be clean from sort of sea to table. And we knew the seawater was very clean because we bred seahorses in it. But the disappointing thing is that there wasn't a moment when we first made the salt that we thought, right, we've got a fantastic business, everything will be fine.
No, but there is an element of alchemy about salt, isn't there? I think it is magical. You boil salt water and you get salt crystals, and then you can put the salt crystals back in water, and then you've got the sea again.
The potted way we make the salt is we've got to get it from seawater is 3.5% salt, so we've got to separate out the 3% salt from the 97% water and 1% mud and seaweed. The first stage is to filter it, and it's filtered through sand and charcoal and a physical filter. It boils under a vacuum, so it boils at 80 degrees or so. But that gives us more concentrated seawater, and it's that concentrated seawater that we take into the production building, put into these shallow tanks. And the analogy that I use is just like clouds can only hold so much water before it's got to rain. With the seawater, it can only hold so much salt as you concentrate it before the salt has got to do something. And so it crystallizes on the surface. And as the salt crystallizes, it forms these beautiful crystals, which are actually inverted pyramids. So they form around a tiny speck of salt, and then that goes down in the water slightly, and that leads this characteristic square to form, and it gets heavier and heavier, and then will sink to the bottom. It's all about taste and texture. So seawater's got other things in it, like magnesium and zinc and iodine, and the magnesium can make it taste a bit bitter, so we'll rinse that salt to get the taste profile right. And there's some chefs have said our salt tastes of the cleanest oceans, and then they'll drain for 24 hours in piles, and then they'll go into a low temperature oven for another day.
Just beautiful flakes.
And that's only
sound right as well, don't they?
Yeah, and it's only achievable by doing it by hand. We haven't found a machine, so we do need the human element in our process.
And it's really lovely to be able to deliver a seasoning which is literally made from the landscape of Wales.
So yes, it's been quite an eventful 30 years making a living by the sea.
Yeah.